Alright guys, Dustin here, and I don't know, maybe we could title this one, Dustin finally likes the 5.7, because I have two 5.7x28 caliber rifle, well, one's a rifle and one's a pistol. And we're gonna kind of compare them to, because everybody knows this one. This is the FN PS90. S meaning stupid, I mean semi, because infringements, we can't have the fun real thing, and it's got a longer barrel. But then we have the CMMG Banshee in 5.7 here. Cool thing about this is you can just buy the upper and put it on any lower, and it uses the radial delay blowback system that I've talked about a lot in the past, so you don't have any gas tube. And it's got a really neat, just radial delayed blowback bolt with those cuts that it kind of slows down the recoil impulse and makes it a really fun gun. And so they both have their pros and cons. Well, there's not much cons to the Banshee really, because I was like, well, the obvious pro of the P90 is that it's more compact, right? But my goodness, when I put these right side by side, it's not that much shorter. And so anyway, it's a fun one. They're both fun, and the 5.7 ammo, well, you know, I guess I didn't like it years ago when it came out because it's like $1 a round. I was like, I like to shoot too much, so I would go broke if I shot that. But now, okay, right now is a bad time because ammo's out of stock everywhere, but right before the whole virus trash hit, you could find it for less than 40 cents a round, and so that's putting it right up there with 223. Now, it's an interesting round to say the least, and if you've never messed with it, the craziest thing is, because at first I'm like, I can just reload these, and then I found out, well, there's really a lot more to it. And one thing is the coating that's on it. Now, the guys over at Detroit Ammo told me the reason for the coating, the big reason is for full auto fire, but of course that slick coating that's on it will allow it to function better no matter what, but it also makes it a pain to reload. I also heard that the bullets are actually glued into the mouse case, and so it's a little bit cumbersome to reload. While it is possible, it just may not be one of the things a beginner wants to do. But it's still kind of a cool round. We're going to put it through the chronograph with some SBR 223 stuff, see how that works, and of course, let's just shoot. All right, so me and some of my kids play Call of Duty sometimes, and so what we did is built the RCXD, and so it is ready for deployment here, but instead of shooting the car and only using it once, I got the target up here, and so that's a small target, okay? I'm pretty sure I could disable this thing a little easier. I don't know, your engine's kind of small, your receiver, so I guess that's kind of accurate. To shut this thing down, we're gonna have to shoot that little thing. He risks to remaining honest, but you ready right here? All right, so I guess that's all there is to it. We're gonna put it out there, and then it's gonna charge at me, and I'm gonna try to stop it. So the RCXD is set up right out there. Little man has instructions to go full speed towards me. I'm gonna try to shoot it after it hits the shadow area there, because that's where the high-speed camera is set up. Let's see what we got. Ready?
Be advised, hostile RCXD spotted.
Come and get me, little guy. I felt that one. That was awesome.
Be advised, hostile RCXD spotted.
We have my CMMG Banshee. This is the 200 series because I wanted the longer, I believe it's an 8-inch barrel. Get a little more velocity, not much, but a little bit, because it seems that the 5.7 is made for, you know, shorter barrels, kind of like your 300 Blackout, you know, kind of marketed, well, just designed for the shorter barrels. We have the American Eagle 5.7x28 40 grain. This is going to be your plinking load. This is the go-to plinking load for the 5.7. And what cracks me up, though, if you ever seen the inside of this box, it's got a little ad for you to go buy some apparel at the FN USA store. Like, I don't care about a shirt when I'm shooting ammo. But anyway, that's about all there is to it. We got the Bowers USS suppressor on it, hardcore for 22 and whatnot, but also 5.7 rated, and a bunch of Dr. Thunder Diet Dr. Thunder cans, because we buy that for the Marksman Camp can cannon, because then the kids don't want to just drink it all the time. It actually works, because it's nasty. How many do you think it'll go through? Let's do it to it. Let's get right in line. Remember offset. Whoa, it wasn't that many! So I expected to take out at least half. This is the full metal jackets, but we numbered them on top just to know, so we went through 7 cans because we have 8 and beyond left, and it did its thing. I wonder if we can find the bullet. Most likely it deviated off course because I can see some stuff on the lower part there. Which is this? This is 7. Yeah, so it was starting to go low. Didn't get it in the wood though. And we have cans all the way out there. That's pretty cool. So yay, we have plenty left. Let's do it again. Now we have the 16-inch PS90. 16, well, it's actually not 16-inch because it has this pinned and welded shroud on it. You're really only getting this like 14.2 inches, but that's still almost twice as much barrel length as the other. This is our redneck chronograph. We're gonna pull a real chronograph out later, but this is more fun. Now, the deal with the P90 is, I guess, well, first, I can't put a suppressor on it. That's right, if you take the shroud off, which takes some doing because it's like pinned and welded on there, I think there's threads on there, but then you have a SBR. So most folks, and so you can, you got a little nub there, then you're gonna put a suppressor on it and have the same length. It'll just be quieter. So we'll see with that 16-inch if it goes through more than 7. Leave a guess. What do you think? I think so. 1. I gotta say, it don't look like it went through any more. Moment of truth. Oh, we did go through one more. Coke can number 9. Let's find 8. This is 1. Yee! Okay, that hole is dead center, so we did well on our offset. And if you don't know mechanical offset, we'll do a video sometime. All right, changing it up. Since we have so many extra Cokes left over, we have the Detroit Ammo's 40 grain VMAX. Now, I can testify that this, got that in the CMMG now, I think it'll go through half what it went through earlier. Your turn to guess. Oh, I think I was right! Let's check it. Oh, snap! Number 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's awesome there. That's a great split. So that was can number 4. So, I seriously doubt there's still a bullet. I have jacket though. Oh no! That's not just jacket, that is the bullet! That's amazing! That's really cool. So that also proves, well, at least with the hydrostatic shock of some Coke cans, you know, you're only going through 4, so think of that width and think of a self-defense situation. That's just about nailed it. And where'd the entry? Oh, that is the entry. So that's entry right there because it didn't exit. I saw such a big gap, I was like, that's cool. So these blew to smithereens. Where's number 1? Yeah, I bet that's number 1. The one that blew the top completely off. All right, last Coke test. And Federal sent me over some of these 5.7. This is their sporting cartridge, sporting hunting. And so it's their version of the 40 grain. They're real pretty though. They got a VMAX. It's just blue. It's just blue. I'm like 100% sure that's the exact same bullet as that the Detroit ammo's going. It's just blue and pretty. So let's do it with the 16-inch. I'm gonna guess 5. What's your guess? Put it out there. Oh! Cool. I think I was right because I see 4 shrapnel and that was the 5th, and this is number 6. We nailed it. So, oh, but we just barely, we deviated just a little. So again, for self-defense, that thickness is pretty good. Too bad we didn't catch that bullet. All right, so for a quick and more accurate and less visually appeasing chronograph test, we're gonna check the Banshee, then we're gonna check 5.7, then we're gonna check some 55 grain into 223 with SBR. All right, let's go with it. All right, it's showing right around 19,000, it's so fast, 1,900 feet per second with this 8-inch. Now the 5.7, same ammo. Let's see how much quicker we get. That's not much at all. We are showing an average of 1,993 feet per second. So for double the barrel, you get 100 feet per second. That's actually pretty pathetic. It is not worth that extra barrel length. So now this is my SBR 12-inch LaRue upper. Yes, we do have a suppressor that'll give you a little bit more, but come on, who's not going to suppress? Let's see what 55 grain does out of this. So this is your full power mess. All right, now that was worth a cartridge jump, 2,470 feet per second on the average. That's pretty good, but you know, you have such a heavier rifle when you move to this. It was surprisingly pleasant for what it is, because the P90, it's a bullpup, and so I thought it's gonna have a crummy trigger, and it's not wonderful, but it was almost 7 pounds. It's like 6 pounds, 15 ounces every break, and it's not terrible travel. You got a good bit of a kind of a first stage creep going on there, and then there's more creep, and then you got a nice clean break, so it's not bad. Here's one thing I didn't like about the P90, just messing with it. This barrel is floated, and so you see that? All that movement is just by me holding the barrel steady and just twisting it. You have that many degrees of movement. So the safeties, it's almost like a fidget safety right there, because you can just keep clicking it around, and I found myself doing that. Now, this is an add-on, this little charging handle here, because this nub is all that you normally get, and I thought it was fine. It's like, oh, you don't need that add-on until you put a magazine in it. Once you put a magazine in it, you can't reach that little nub at all. And I'm like, what? How in the world were they planning to charge that? So this aftermarket one works well with that. The ejection port's kind of cool. It goes out the bottom, and you can close it. But I tell you, it's downright annoying. You're shooting it, and those rounds are flying down at your feet with force, and it shakes. It literally shakes the ground a little. And so the first time you shoot, like, what is going on? And you got a pile of brass almost hitting your feet. And if you're shooting from a sitting position, guess where that brass is going to go too? So watch out for that. You can do the whole ambidextrous thing. We put a lower rail on this one because optic on the high rail is pretty high, and the cheek weld's all off. But so the cool thing about this, you got backup iron sights on each side for lefty and righty. It's just a little notch there. Kind of cool though. It's all blowback though. The Banshee is not. It's got the radial delayed blowback. You know, we've talked about it before with the 9mm, the 40, the 10mm, the 45. They're all really cool, and it really does lower your felt recoil. We put it side by side a 9mm blowback, and you could definitely see regular blowback. You have this all action, and when it hits the buffer tube, you have another raise in the recoil impulse, and then when it hits the front, you get the lower. With the radial delay blowback, you see the initial bullet pushing the bolt back. You see an initial rise. You never see it bounce when it hits the rear. And then once that bolt hits down, it lowers you back on target. And so you can just see the evidence right there on how it doesn't buck. And so, do like the Banshee, and it's stupid accurate. I was shooting golf balls at 100 yards with it the first day, just right out of the box with the bulk ammo. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. I have not tried the P90 back that far yet. We will in a second. But I'm bored. Let's shoot something fun. So I'm curious, can I shoot through this tallow tree that the Desert Eagle couldn't go through and, you know, still hit that target? That sounds cool to me, because I am now hidden behind the tree, so nothing can happen. Oh, I got it in the head! I was shooting down! Brass. It's going through, but it's not hitting, and it's right stinking there. Let's get it closer. I think I got it. I heard it that time. That's cool. We're gonna do a little mag dump. It's not full auto, of course, because this is, you know, PS90. That's for stupid. Okay, here we go. And it's got a little more bounce. But if I do it one-handed, what happens is it pivots here, which makes it great for one-handed shooting because it's so just, you're there. So, but it does have a little more bop. That radial delayed really does better on the recoil management, because you feel it hitting the back with this. But it's still just a 5.7, so it still works just fine. And my feet feel every bit of those. Watch, see if they fall out here. I feel every bit of those brass falling at my feet. You can get a brass catcher, and so, you know, that would help that problem. This is a cool thing that many people might not even know there's an option. I have from Detroit Ammo some 5.7 subsonic rounds. So we've got our suppressor on there, and now we have 55 grain subsonic rounds. So yes, you're almost in the realm of 22 when you're cutting subsonic. Well, let's see how quiet it is. Oh, that's cool. I didn't want to cycle that one. Maybe our buffer is not. Now we just play around a little bit on the steel. I love how it's just such a little bounce. You know, so it gives you more power than, of course, like a 22 or a 9mm or something like that. But it's not as crazy as a 223 because I'd never shoot a 223 this close. I'm probably pushing it a little bit at 20 yards with, you know, running 2,000 feet per second. It's all good. It's still fun. All right, so we have the CMMG Banshee, and with that long mag, I'm gonna have to go a little high. We're gonna use that blue tip SF197 sporting cartridge. I've got 40 grain VMAX. So the optic I'm using, I got this from Optics Planet. This is the Burris AR332. It's a 3X optic. My only complaint, you got to get close to it. Short eye relief, but you have illuminated reticle and rails all over the place, you know, and it's nice and 3X. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Same hole. I moved a little, but it's pretty close. Nice. Oh, it's just two splatters right there beside each other. That's pretty cool. All right, we've got the same ammo in this FN. I'm gonna make sure I don't rest on the barrel. That would mess up our test. And this ejection port's probably gonna cause me grief because it's gonna throw it right at my fingers. Longer trigger, that's for sure. Well, sweet. It looks like a one-hole group there, too. Let's go check it. Well, I have to say, I'm not disappointed. We are looking at right under 3 inches. All right, and this is the PS90. We are looking right under 3 inches. I'm impressed because at that floating barrel, that's a good group. That one needs a little scoot to the right. See if we can get a golf ball. All right, final test. We have a golf ball out there at 100 yards, one of the ones left over from Marksman Camp. And so it's brand new. I put 3 clicks to the right. Let's see if that did it for us. Oh, gracious. Okay, so this reticle's kind of bold. I can't see the golf ball. We're just gonna have to guess. Still there. Gone! Nice! Not bad for covering the whole golf ball with that fat dot. Let's go check it. So, yeah, that's it, this one. All right, right through the top edge there. Oh, in and out. And that was that VMAX, and they just, yeah, it'll be good for a lot more shots later on. We'll just leave it right there. All right, guys, so that wraps it up for our 5.7 video. If you want an AR-15 style pistol or rifle that shoots 5.7, you know, check out that CMMG Banshee, and you get that radial delay blowback and all that good stuff. Nice, soft shooting and accurate. And if you're local, hit me up. I can get you a CMMG. That's right, I'm a dealer too. And then that 5.7, you know, in the FSP90 is kind of cool. It's pretty cool, but you're gonna have a little hard time outfitting it and modernizing it as much as you can, just an AR. So I guess that wraps it up. Thanks for watching, and leave a subscription and a like and click the notifications and all that stuff. Okay, I love it, bye-bye. Did you see that? Going to 1,000! Come on, Nussie! Come on, Nussie!